everybody! In the beginning of May, Russia has a big vacation. It starts with the Labour Day or Mayday on the 1st of May and goes all the way to the Second World War Victory Memorial Day on the 9th of May. Although there are several work days in between, people tend to take leaves and go with their families to their country houses called dacha in Russian. And since we're people who live in the suburban house, we don't need to partake in the joys of rural living. So we took an opportunity to go to the event held by the Apothecary Garden in Moscow called the Concert Under the Blossoming Sakura Trees. Sounds fancy, doesn't it? Let the search for sakuras commence. The Apothecary Garden is the oldest botanical garden in Russia. It was established in 1706 by King Peter the Great on what used to be the outskirts of Moscow. Now it's a piece of heaven in the booming city center. Peter was very fond of European culture and style of life, so he brought a lot of European enhancements to Russia. Among them was European medicine. Apothecaries were proto-pharmacists who used to study healing properties of plants, so special gardens were a must for them. Currently, the garden belongs to Moscow State University's Botanical Garden and the Department of Biology. It hosts a bunch of various festivals, art and other cultural events. The Apothecary Garden is a strikingly cheerful place with koi carps, ruddy shell ducks and tree peonies that made my mom salivate. Some trees in the garden are centuries old, including a 200-year-old oak and a 300-year-old willow that is rumored to have been planted by King Peter himself. But let's be honest, if a historical figure was involved in something even the slightest, the staff of the museum will always tell you that everything is their personal contribution. Nowadays, the oak was awarded with a hilarious title, the Meritorious Plant of Russia. But it's not the only hilarious sign that we can find here. Among them was "Don't harass our trees." Rare plants are like gophers, you don't see them but they exist. And the very special genre was the plants with the sign, "This is not the Sakura tree. Neither is this a Sakura tree. You thought it was a Sakura tree, joke's on you." That made people look frantically for an actual Sakura trees. Later we were joined by our witty friend Olga, who noticed that one of the not Sakura trees was called Cerasa louisiana. I think this word can be used as a way to sober up quickly. Try to say Cerasa louisiana 3 times when drunk. Let me know how it goes. I highly recommend visiting the Herbarium exhibition to see beautiful flowers with funny names, and the underwater plants exhibition is also satisfying. After that we visited an exotic orchard, but after Taiwan I was like, orchids. I have seen those before. The concert took place in the open air. Needless to say, my beautiful fantasy of a large piano on the open stage under the blossoming sakura trees, similar to the ones you see in anime, never came to be. However, we were provided with comfy beanbag seats and a cup of warm mulled wine. The concert itself was awful, but I have a theory that one should go to the good concerts only when they are happy, because those will make you think. Go to the bad concerts when you're sad. They will cheer you up and give you some good laughs. We were talking and laughing to ourselves, which annoyed an old woman next to us immensely. She was taking it too seriously, so we had to retreat and continue our search for sakuras. Some naked-looking trees near the stage were presumed to be a sakura tree. Later we found another tree with exactly 3 flowers and a sign that said, "Congrats, you found a sakura tree. But you expected it to blossom like in Japan? Heh, lol." According to the sign, Sakura tree was a plum. Actually, it's a cherry. Well played, Apothecary Garden, well played. If you like it, please subscribe and give us a big fat like. Share with your friends and tell everybody about us.